So I know I'm between you and a break, so don't worry, we'll make it exciting. By the way, there is a cat walking around, so if you see a cat in the middle of my presentation, don't be too alarmed. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about cats, even though cats are very popular on Facebook. What I am here to talk about today is the evolving ecosystem and how you can stand out as a developer or a company. So I'm Tom Laster, and as was just said, I manage the partnerships and ecosystem for growth markets in Europe. And not surprisingly, Central Eastern Europe is a very big focus for us. And I'm very excited to be here in Romania. It's actually my first time in Romania, and I'm looking forward to come here in the future again. So things are changing very fast. If this would have been 15 years ago, I probably would have talked about something completely different if I talk about marketing technology. But when we talk about today, things are moving very, very fast. And if you take as an example, the top developing companies in the last few years, Uber is less than 10 years old. They're 7 years old. Airbnb are 8 years old. And those are both companies that are disrupting their existing industries. In addition to that, you have many more companies in different industries that are disrupting and are moving very fast and are growing at a crazy pace, which we're not aware of. I've been at Facebook now for 4 years, and 4 years ago, I worked for sales in the German market, and I used to go to clients 4 years ago and ask them, what's your mobile strategy? Guess what they said? We don't know. Mobile is up and coming. We'll think about it once mobile is there. Well, guess what? 4 years ago, mobile was already there, but a lot of companies weren't necessarily prepared to do that. But within 4 years, if anyone doesn't have a strategy now for mobile, you would laugh in their face because you would say mobile is the #1 device that people use. So things are moving extremely fast. Now, to use this example, to make it more specific, look at the Fortune 500 companies. Out of the 500 companies of Fortune 500 that were posted in 1955, only a small amount of them are still in Fortune 500. More specifically, we're talking about 61 companies remaining. So the other 439 companies have either merged, gone bankrupt, or have just left the list because their growth rates weren't high enough and their revenue isn't high enough to be in Fortune 500. So that means that those companies failed to evolve, they failed to adapt, they failed to innovate. Or their technology didn't match anymore the requirements of today. What's really important is that the lifespan of companies has also changed. The lifespan of companies in 1955 was 75 years, which means you could make a strategic bet, and you would make a mistake, and you could fix it, and make another mistake, and you could fix it. But in days like today, when you make a strategic bet, and it's the wrong strategic bet, you have a short lifespan in order to make the right decisions and to move fast, and you need to innovate. And the companies that are successful today are thinking about what are the requirements, and how can they adapt to those requirements, evolving, because just because you have a good product today doesn't mean necessarily that the product that you have will fit for tomorrow. And a great example of that is Facebook. So 4 years ago, when I joined the company, I joined just before the IPO, and I was there when our stock was at $15, and I was talking to fellow employees, and everyone was going very worried because they were saying, we don't know what's going to happen. We're worried that, we joined this half startup, half company, and it might not be successful. But guess what? Mark was standing in a crossroad 4 years ago, and he took the right path. I can say today, it wasn't that clear 4 years ago, but his decision was that anyone in the company that's building for Facebook will have to build for mobile first. That was his decision. And that decision influenced how the company was going. And if you look at the amount of mobile active users we have, you see this trend. If you look at the revenue that's coming from mobile, 4 years ago it was 0. Looking at our our earning call that we had last month, we announced that 79% out of our multi-billion revenue is now coming from mobile. So within 4 years, from 0 to 79% of our revenue going through mobile. That's moving fast. Internally at Facebook, we have a saying, move fast and break things. We've changed it now to be move fast and create things. I think it's a bit better than breaking things. But the point is, you need to move fast in order to create impact. So this behind me is the marketing technology Lumascape. So for those of you that don't know much about marketing technology, it basically is a technology that allows marketers to run efficiently on different channels. As you can tell, there are a lot of companies within this ecosystem. And this is less than half of the companies that actually exist. Now, what's the problem with this? There are so many companies in this space, and even in different segments of the space, that it's very difficult to stand out. Even if you have a great technology, you might not be having the right clients, or maybe you have the wrong marketing. Maybe you have great marketing, but your technology isn't strong enough. And what's happening in the last year or so is that a lot of companies in this space are merging, because there's just too many companies in this space. So when we talk about standing out, it's extremely important given all these companies that you see in the back. Now, what we believe a company needs to do in order to really stand out is 3 really important pillars. First of all, and this is quite obvious, you need to have a technology, but you need to have a technology that really is a strong technology that stands out. But having a technology isn't just enough. As I said before, Facebook 4 years ago, we had a great technology for desktop. But for mobile, to be honest, and I can say this openly, our app wasn't the best 4 years ago. It was slow, it wouldn't always load, newsfeed wasn't perfect. It was especially not modified to be regional and for our developing markets. But 4 years later, I can say that we definitely have one of the best apps that's out there because of the speed, not just because of the usage of it, and that is only because of the innovation and the constant adaptation that we've done. Because just having the right technology today doesn't mean you have the right technology tomorrow. So it's really important to have the right technology, to innovate, and also to adapt to how things change over time. So I'm part of the Facebook Marketing Partner Organization. What this means is this is our official group of partners around the world that are enabling marketers to run advertising on Facebook at a much more efficient way. And we are looking for partners all over the world, but especially now in our growth markets, which Romania is part of. So I'm really keen to meet as many developers as possible in Romania that are interested in building marketing technology. And I'm also interested to meet with existing marketing technology companies. And that's also one of the reasons why I'm here today. So to talk briefly about the evolution of our ecosystem on Facebook, the Facebook Marketing Partner Program. So 6 years ago, we had very basic tools that third-party companies built on top of Facebook. Basically, they would allow marketers to upload on bulk. Very simple features. They wouldn't necessarily provide much added value. But they were still better than the native tools that Facebook built. About 4 years ago, so 2 years later, there were companies, the third-party companies that were part of our partnership program, were starting to build more sophisticated tools for marketers, allowing them to do cross-channel measurement, allowing them to get deeper insights. But still, it wasn't necessarily as advanced as the marketers would want. Last year, we relaunched our program and named it Facebook Marketing Partner Program. And we're now looking for more specialized and verticalized companies, which I'll talk about in a moment more in detail. Specifically, did you guys know that our marketing API is open to everyone? So all the people in this room, if you're developers, just out of curiosity, how many people in the room here are developers? Raise your hand. Great. So if you're a developer and you want to start building on the Facebook API, the marketing API, today, you can do this right now after my talk. Open your computer and start building on our API because we have all the documentations prepared and our API is open for everyone. So we're looking for developers that can be relevant to build tools, not just for companies in Romania, but for companies globally. And we have some great examples from this region where, for example, we have ROI Hunter in Czech Republic. They've started as a small tool for Czech clients, and they now have clients across Europe, USA, and Asia. We have another company called AI Target that's based in Russia that are doing something similar. Social Bakers have grown like crazy as well. So we're looking for companies out of Romania as well because we believe that the developer ecosystem here is very strong. There's very strong developers, and we just need them to start building on our marketing API. So once you start building on a marketing API, you start with the most basic access, and then once you start building more and more features, you eventually get to standard, and then you can eventually become a partner with us. So the way that Facebook sees marketing is our vision is that there should be personalized marketing at scale. So take me as an example. I'm 30 years old. I like football. I specifically like Barcelona, and I like sport shoes. So with all this information, I shouldn't get an ad that shows me just a regular shoe. Maybe I should get an ad that shows me an FC Barcelona player that I like with a shoe that is the new version of the shoe that I've bought last year. That is personalized marketing at scale. And our vision is that people will see the most relevant ads for them on our platform. To allow that to happen, it's really important that the marketers have the right tools in order to get to that vision. And this is a great example. So you see that Lexus has actually run a campaign for people with different segments of interests. It's the same creative, but it changes based on your interests. So if you like technology and you're a woman, you will get a different creative than if you're a man and you like sports. And the good thing about this, it gets people to react. And this campaign is not just beautiful, it actually worked extremely well. What's the problem? The problem is that there's a very big gap between Facebook's vision of this everyone getting a personalized advertising versus what marketers actually do. Marketers are used to act like they do in the more traditional world, where they maybe have a video ad once every 3 to 6 months, and then they upload it on Facebook, and they just edit it a bit, and that's it. Our goal is that we want to get third-party companies that will be in this white space, the gap between our vision and what marketers actually do, in order to drive more expertise and advanced technology on top of the marketers of their capabilities so they can get closer to what our vision is for marketing on Facebook. Now, as I said, we've launched a new program last year. As part of this program, there's 9 specialties. I'm not going to talk about all these specialties. I'm going to focus on the top 4 specialties. The first one is around execution. So we're looking for companies that are building out tools that help marketers to execute their campaign management, to execute their optimization in a much better way. We already have many companies like this on our platform, so it's not necessarily the biggest priority globally, but for Romania specifically, or for Central Eastern Europe, it's really important to find companies like that because we don't have many. So even though it's not necessarily a big global priority at the moment, it's a specific priority for this region. The second one, and probably our biggest priority at the moment, is content marketing or creative. So as I just gave the example about this traditional company, let's take Coca-Cola. So Coca-Cola is used to probably doing their video ads historically once every 3 to 6 months for TV. You see this really cool ad on TV, and then they repurpose it, so they edit it afterwards for YouTube and for Facebook. So they keep on rolling the same video for Facebook for a few months. Now, how many of you, just wondering, how many of you have Facebook? Raise your hand. Okay, good. Most people here. So as you know, things go viral on Facebook, or you get exposed very fast on Facebook. So what happens when you actually launch a campaign on Facebook, you get very fast exposure, but if you don't take care of that creative very fast, it just drops as fast as it goes up. And then companies like Coca-Cola come to us and they say, Facebook, your platform doesn't work for marketing. And we say, well, your company doesn't know how to do marketing on Facebook, but that doesn't really help. So what we're trying to do is find companies that are in the middle that can provide this scale and technology so that Coca-Cola can create personalized videos for different audiences so that it doesn't drop off after 2 days. So that's creative. The third part is all around data. It's companies that manage data, companies that own data, where we can combine that data with Facebook data in order to get our marketers to achieve much better audience targeting and to do much better optimization around audiences. So when we talk about best practices of how to stand out when you build on Facebook specifically, first of all, integrate with the API. Play with the API, see what products we have available, see what you can add as an innovation, because remember, don't try to build something that everyone has just already built, because you saw the Lumascape I showed you before with all these companies. You don't want to be another one of those companies. You want to be a company that stands out and has a unique offering and unique technology. So integrate with the API and try to understand what innovation you can add on top of that. The third thing is drive value for the companies. Try to understand what are the main challenges that the companies have on a platform like Facebook or even Twitter or the other platforms that they're running, and how you can build a technology across those channels that will drive a lot of great value to them. There's quite a lot of benefits of becoming a Facebook partner. First of all, you get featured on a website, you get featured in events. We mention you when we do marketing, when we do blog posts. There's a great example in a company that launched on our partnership program only last year called Smartly out of the Nordics. They were literally a few people, 5 people when they started. And by working together with us in the past year and a half, they have grown immensely, and they now have offices all across the world. So if you do it right, you get a lot of benefits, which include marketing, and obviously, eventually you get greater revenue as well. So finally, to close this off, I just want to finish by saying, at Facebook, we believe that we're builders. We believe that it's really important to keep on building all the time, not to just rest in the laurels, and try to innovate all the time. And we're looking to work with builders, with developers as much as possible. So thank you very much. If you want to read more about this program, go to facebookmarketingpartners.com. Feel free to reach out to me over LinkedIn. My name is Tom Laster, and if you have any questions, more than happy to answer it there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tom. That was great, and I hope you still managed to catch your flight, so we'll not keep you much longer.